Celine Dion's life changed forever after the death of her husband, René Angelo. Having known him since she was 12, René played a pivotal role in her life, not only as her husband but also as her manager, guiding her to global stardom. Angelo passed away in January 2016 due to complications from throat cancer, a battle he had fought 3 times since 1998. On that cold winter night, Dion lost her partner, manager, and the father of her 3 sons. In a 2017 interview with the UK Sun, she reflected, "I think I will probably grieve for the rest of my life." Dion's journey through grief has been deeply layered and challenging. She continues to see herself as married to René, grapples with the sorrow of not being by his side when he passed, and finds comfort in knowing his suffering has ended. The pain has been immense, but it has also led to her transformation. Losing Angelo compelled Dion to turn inward and prioritize her own well-being, something she had long neglected out of fear. Losing her manager prompted Dion to take control of her own career, and realizing how much she could achieve on her own was empowering. However, the impact of Angelo's death on her love life is a different story. "I have never met another man in my life, never kissed another man in my life," she said. "I miss him a lot." Over the years, Dion has shed light on the many ways Angelo's death affected her. Although Celine Dion revealed her stiff person syndrome diagnosis in December 2022, she had been battling the rare autoimmune neurological disorder for 17 years. Her symptoms, including muscle spasms in her feet and throat, affected her ability to walk, breathe, and even sing. Rather than prioritizing her health, Dion initially chose denial. "I didn't want to stop. I wanted to stay on stage. I wanted to be brave instead of smart. That was wrong," she admitted to People in June 2024. Everything changed when René Angelo passed away. The loss of her husband brought a new awareness that her children had also lost a parent. "At one point, I could barely walk, and I realized how much I was missing out on life. My kids started to notice," she shared. "The thought of them fearing they might lose their mother too was unbearable. I assured them, 'You lost your dad, but Mom has a condition, it's different. I am not going to die,'" she recalled. Dion received her diagnosis in August 2022 as a result of prioritizing her health. With 2 of her 3 sons still being children, she knew she had to take care of herself for their sake. "It gave me a lot of strength to say, first and foremost, I am a mom, and I deserve to know what's happening," she shared with Extra TV in June 2024. Though years have passed since René Angelo's death, Celine Dion still doesn't consider herself a widow. "I am still married to René. He's still my husband," she shared with People in June 2024. She keeps his memory alive by displaying photos of him throughout their home, giving her children chances to connect with him. "They kiss the pictures," she said. Dion also carries Angelo with her in spirit, especially when she needs his support. When traveling for appointments or treatments, Dion always brings photos of Angelo with her. She also makes sure to include him on family trips. "My kids always ask, 'Did you bring Papa's pictures?' And I am like, 'Yes, I have Papa's pictures,'" she shared. This isn't the first time Dion has spoken about how her family copes with Angelo's absence. "We still live with him. He's part of our lives every day, so I have to say that I feel very, very strong," she said in a 2021 interview with Today. Although she was in her 50s at the time, Dion wasn't focused on finding someone new. She is content with her life centered around her sons, but she acknowledges that the future is uncertain. "I'm not thinking about a relationship or falling in love again. I am not. Do I have to say it will never happen? I don't know. I really don't know," she confessed. René Angelo knew where he wanted to be when he passed away. "René said to me, 'I want to die in your arms.' I told him, 'Okay, fine, I will be there. You will die in my arms,'" Celine Dion shared with USA Today in 2015, just months before his death. Unfortunately, she couldn't fulfill that promise because she was performing the night he died. "Normally after my show, when he had taken his medication late, I would go and kiss him, tuck him in, and he would fall asleep," she told Paris Match magazine in May 2016. That day, Dion approached things differently. "I didn't want to wake him up," she explained. Earlier that evening, before she went on stage, Angelo had called her. He said, "I wish you a great show, and I love you," she recalled in a 2016 People interview. Although the death of her husband was one of the hardest events of her life, Dion made an effort to maintain perspective. Angelo's passing had been anticipated for some time, and while she couldn't have predicted it would happen that night, she still struggled with the wish she had seen him one last time. "I should have gone and said, 'I love you and I am here,' but I don't want to live with that regret," she said. "I meant well by not waking him." The knowledge that René Angelo was no longer in pain helped Celine Dion continue forward. Angelo's battle with cancer had been long and grueling, spanning nearly 18 years. For Dion, witnessing his suffering was more difficult than accepting his death. I am at peace because he's not suffering anymore, she said on the Ellen DeGeneres show in 2016 via Entertainment Weekly. The hardest part is not losing someone you love, but seeing them suffer. Angelo was discovered on the floor, and Dion imagines he might have tried to get out of bed and fallen. The nurse found him the next day. Panicked, she came to get me, she said. Despite the situation, Dion remained calm and even had to comfort Angelo's distressed doctor. Renee is no longer suffering. It's better this way, she recalled telling him in her Paris Match interview. She maintained that mindset as she prepared his body. As she dressed Angelo in his robe and placed a cherished stuffed animal under his head, Dion reassured him that she would be okay. I told him, I am fine, go in peace. That's enough suffering, she recalled. She truly meant it. It was the coldest thing I have ever experienced in my life, but it was also profound. I said, promise me you won't worry. I am fine, the kids are great, we'll be okay. It's enough suffering, she shared in a 2016 People interview. Renee Angelo was a profound influence on Celine Dion's life, and his impact persisted even after his death. While the pain of losing him has been overwhelming at times, Dion has found strength in the sacrifices he made for her career and their children. He gave his all for me, she told People in 2019. She kept this in mind to continue moving forward and growing. I have never felt as beautiful or as strong, and I truly believe the best is yet to come, she said. It wasn't always easy for Dion. She took a break from her Vegas residency between 2014 and 2015 to care for Angelo but returned to perform a few months before his death. I didn't want to be here at first, she admitted in an interview with USA Today. However, Angelo encouraged her to continue, so she did. Despite its significance to her, the residency was emotionally complex. I never knew if I would come home to find it all over, she told People. In the end, Dion feels that her husband was right to encourage her to continue. Renee really gave me a gift, she said. She rebuilt herself and returned stronger, taking on many of the roles Angelo had once filled, thanks to his guidance. I feel so powerful, in control, grounded, and happy, she shared on Good Morning America in 2019. Fans of Celine Dion are well aware of the deep bond she shared with her late husband, Renee Angelo, a connection that extended to their first son, Renee Charles Angelo. After years of struggling to conceive, Dion became pregnant through in vitro fertilization. The all-by-myself singer and her former manager welcomed Renee Charles on January 25, 2001. On The Oprah Winfrey Show, Dion expressed her joy, saying, "When I heard the news, I was like, of course, he's a miracle baby for us. It's a dream come true in many ways. I will never be the same person anymore." Celine Dion's husband, Renee Angelo, tragically passed away from throat cancer in 2016. At that time, their son, Renee Charles Angelo, was just 15 but showed remarkable strength in the face of the loss. 15 years is not a long time for a son to get to know his father. "You had a busy life, but we communicated through golf, hockey, poker, and smoked meat," he said in his eulogy, according to CBC. As the audience chuckled at the mention of smoked meat, Dion looked on proudly and smiled. According to People, Renee Charles was a strong source of support for his mother during the visitation of his late father. Dion was seen clinging to his arm as they left Notre Dame Basilica in Montreal, Canada. 3 years later, the My Heart Will Go On singer reflected on Lorraine, saying his dad is sending him good energy. "I told him that my heart and my hand will always be there for him because we love him so much. We wish him the best in whatever he chooses to do, as long as he's happy, because he's a wonderful person." Like, share and subscribe.